No, I just edited it.
Okay. Hello there and welcome to Fairyland Cottage, and thanks very much for joining us here today. I asked over on Instagram a few questions that you'd like to know about, either myself or Terry. And so this is Terry, my husband, and we're going to answer the most common questions.
About everything.
About everything and anything. Well, which ones I asked over on Instagram, so I'm going to kind of scroll down the ones that were most popular. Now, what was really funny was that a lot of you just wanted to know how the two of us met. And so we say with that one first.
Yeah, why not?
So we met in acting class. I wanted to do acting because I wanted to gain more confidence and just wanted to kind of come out of my shell more, and acting is a great way to do that. So I met Terry in acting class, but we didn't get together for quite a while after.
Because I'm a true thespian who couldn't stand my performance level.
As you can see, Terry is a messer. So I don't know whichever country you're from, but in Ireland, we call like people who are like jokers, messers. And that's Terry.
Entertainers. I would say entertainers.
Entertainers, yeah. And also another thing
Entertaining myself.
Yeah, big time. And also another thing about Irish people is what we say isn't always literal. So when people come from other countries...
Away with you. Away with you. But it doesn't mean away with you. It means I get what you're saying, but...
Oh, yeah.
Don't be... Yeah.
Yeah, there actually is a lot of things in Ireland that people sometimes think that we mean what we say, but we really don't. And it can get a little bit confusing if you're from a country where you actually are literal in what you say.
You're quite literal.
I'm quite literal and Terry's not.
No.
So if any of the answers in the Q&A are a bit maybe...
Abrupt
or funny, it's just Terry messing.
or truthful. Who knows?
So that's really how we met. We just met in acting class, didn't we?
We did. And I dated you for a bit, and then you dumped me. And then I cried for 5 years, and then you let me back into your life. And we've been married since.
Yes, pretty much.
Yeah.
And happy since.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, a lot of you do already know, I shared in another video, Terry's the one who does behind the camera. So he's the one that shoots everything really nicely. And before, I used to just do it on my own. But then they just got more popular, and also Terry is much better able to use the camera and stuff. And I'm not really techie, and that doesn't interest me as much as Terry.
This is the difference in us. This is the simplicity. Terry knows how to use a camera. Terry gets paid professionally to do editing and filming for productions and TV and ads. And I do it for you because I love you. But Terry knows how to use a camera. He can turn it on and off.
To do more than that, there's a lot. Do more than that. There's so much that goes into all the different types of lenses and so forth. So it's not a huge interest of mine, the camera side. I like very, very small. I like more just the visual that I'd like to create. So I'll have an idea of, well, I'd love to shoot that, or I'd love to do this, and then Terry's the one that kind of makes it happen. Your production
design.
Yeah.
Production design.
So it works really well.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how we met and how we work together. And it's interesting working with your husband because I think you see one another in a different light, because you're kind of in a more... We have to focus more when we're doing the videos, but we just do our best to have fun.
I do my best. I can be a bit serious sometimes.
Sometimes he's a little bit serious.
Need to just get to the next shot. Haven't got time to be messing around.
Yeah, whereas I like to kind of talk a little bit more and maybe just have a little bit more relaxedness with it all, whereas Terry be needing to be more efficient because he knows we kind of need to get it done. If the day is getting later and the light is changing, the weather changes so often. So it works well. Anyway, we both work well together.
Not for me, sometimes. It's a nightmare.
Again, it's the non-literal Irish. All right, let's go another question. But that was the main question, which I thought was really funny. About having a dog. We actually don't have a dog. We did share a dog with our neighbours.
Paddle.
And he was the best dog in the world. And so we're just a little bit reluctant to get another one because he was so perfect. And also because we didn't really choose him, when we moved into this cottage, he came and said hello to us like on the first day we arrived. Mm-hmm. And then he used to come every single day to the gate at the back. And
then we couldn't get rid of him.
Stay with us for the day. And then he'd go back to his owners, I suppose. But we all kind of shared him, and there's other people that live here on this land in different cottages. So everyone really loved Paddy. When he passed, it was just, I don't know, he was just so gorgeous that we'll see. If another dog chooses us, then fine, but he was too perfect. That was all. So another question. There's quite a lot of how do you stay calm, in a stressful world. And
I don't live in the world. We live in a forest.
We try and do our best to stay as much as possible in the forest and away from, the more stressful world, which isn't always easy. You have to interact with the world.
I travel for my job. I have to go out and meet in the world and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's different. I'm on set. It's acting, it's performance. I'm watching people do their jobs. It's not really normal everyday stress. There's stress on set. There's on-set stress, but it's not the same.
And then you get to come back to the countryside.
Country.
Yeah. And so I keep myself just private to myself. And I have my friends, but I'm quite a homebody. I like to just stay in the house more.
Potter, as you say.
Pottering. Yep. Pottering in the house and the garden. That kind of keeps me calm.
You didn't do anything. I've been pottering all day.
Yeah. If anyone else can relate to that. And actually, when I did one of the videos all about pottering and being a homebody, a lot of you related to it, of just loving pottering, just a really enjoyable pastime. That's how I'd stay calm. And then also using the choice theory, which I've shared on numerous videos by Dr. William Glasser. So I found that's really, really helped to stay calm. Probably the biggest.
Well, it's the best thing for our relationship.
And it's also great for relationships. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Choice theory all the way.
Yeah, so much so. How do you stop kind of impulse buying was asked as well a bit. Because if you're living more, our intention is to kind of live more simply and less
away
waste.
From the shops.
Yeah.
I moved you into a forest. You can't get to shops.
Yeah, we do live a little bit further away from shops.
And I cut the internet cable when I leave the house.
Don't mind him. He's the one that spends more than me. That's another thing. Like cameras and lenses,
lights, sound.
Yeah, they all have a nice healthy price, but we buy most things secondhand. And there's great websites in Ireland that share
secondhand equipment. There's so many people online that are trying to move on to the next best thing, or change a lens, or they're changing the camera and stuff. Secondhand equipment, it's so much better priced, and it's most of the time, if you're buying it off a cinematographer or cameraman or even a photographer, they look after their equipment so well because they want it to last. So you end up buying equipment that's just as good there.
Oh, completely. And
off I go on my tangent. Buy equipment, buy cameras.
But if you did ever want to start and set up, it really is. Secondhand is the way to go. And you don't need anything hugely fancy to start or to do it.
No, knowledge of shooting visually, of the framing and concept of background and foreground and what's in the image is more important than how much your camera is.
Okay.
Like you can have a 10 grand camera, but you can still shoot the same shot on a €500 camera. It doesn't make a difference if you know how to shoot a shot.
Okay.
There you go.
It goes a bit over my head. There was a lot of kind of questions like things like, favorite movie, favorite, meals, favorite TV show.
All three of them together as one.
we don't have a TV, you probably know, but we still watch things, you know, online and so forth. And favourite meals, what's so
you used
funny.
To like what was it?
What
Sex
was
in
it?
the City.
That's a long time ago.
Oh, yeah.
It's a long time ago.
Fan.
We've been together for quite a while. A lot of questions about the Indian connection. We've got so many people watching from India.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. We just have visited quite a few times and fell in love with it and fell in love with the culture. The food, just everything about India we absolutely love. It's not really possible to travel there at the moment, so we haven't been there in a few years, but we gathered a lot of beautiful pictures and different things from there, so we're very drawn to the Indian philosophy, and that's why you see a lot of it in the different videos. Yeah, it's a wonderful country. How to stay safe and stuff with all the snakes and things in Ireland.
We don't have any snakes.
We don't have any snakes.
St. Patrick came, blew his flute, led them all into the sea. No, that's
but so many people think like we've no snakes in Ireland.
No, but we do actually have snakes now. At the moment, we are finding, because of the food and stuff that's been imported from different countries around the world.
Oh, we're getting a few more kind of insects and
different. But they found the odd snake now.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, the odd time.
They brought in some spiders and they came in some bananas. Because Ireland isn't really, we don't have any kind of poisonous kind of things like snakes and spiders and so forth. Or bears or things like that. But
used to have bears. Don't have bears anymore.
Did he?
Centuries ago.
Well, the spiders were pretty intense because we're not really known for anything other than just little regular ones, so that was a bit for anyone who doesn't like spiders.
Loads of sheep.
A lot of people ask me what age I am. Please don't comment.
Lady never tells.
What do you think?
Lady never tells. Don't care. 39 on 15th July was my birthday. You just can all wish me happy birthday. Go for it. Do it right now. Say happy birthday on the messages. Do it.
Again, he's not being literal.
No, I am. Happy birthday.
Do you ever kind of struggle with, say, trying to live simply? Is there like things that you know that aren't kind of simple that you want to do? And for me, I think the world isn't really built to be simple. So sometimes I find it difficult. Like, say, if you're in a supermarket and there's just so much plastic everywhere, or
I stress with the amount of waste the world.
You stress a lot more. Terry stresses a lot more with the amount of waste than I do. And what's really interesting is when we kind of started reducing waste, it kind of came from me first, didn't it?
Oh yeah.
And then Terry, you were kind of like not really interested in it.
No, I just did my bits and pieces when you and then it sort of.
Yeah, but then you started to get much more affected by the waste.
You see it more when you acknowledge something, you see it more and more, and then you sort of see the waste, how much consumed. Like on a film set or a TV set, it's like there can be so much waste produced, but they're great now at actually bringing in compostable food dishes and all this type of stuff. So there are companies out there that are doing their best, but there's still so much waste.
Yeah, life is wasteful, full stop.
Man, so much stuff comes in plastic. Like, it's when you think about it and you walk around a shopping centre, say like a grocery store, and just look at how much plastic is on each aisle of what's stocked in it, and then look at how much stuff you could actually not have in plastic. It's just mind-boggling.
Yeah, it kind of gets a bit overwhelming, and I'm sure you kind of feel the same. You just do your best. We have there is a few zero waste shops around, but with last year, but they aren't as common.
There's also the companies that are using the plastic. So
there's loads of companies but there's loads of companies trying to recycle plastic and so forth, and that also takes, energy, but...
Yeah, they use it to make roads. I've noticed they use it to make counters now and stuff. And
yeah, you see different things. Just getting more resourceful with it, but yeah, it's a wasteful
so much
world.
They have to do something, but they can't just leave it. It's smothering the planet. Anyway.
Yeah.
Enough dark stuff.
Yeah, it is hard sometimes, and it can get overwhelming. But you just do your best, and I think the thing I focus on is just reducing the waste, not trying to be no waste. Because at the beginning, when we started this kind of lifestyle, I found that I was a little bit strict in the sense of like no waste whatsoever, and it's not possible. You start to get really anxious, and then you start to get really where nothing's ever right. It's never enough. So just little and often and doing your best
you can. Bulk buying is great.
Yeah, bulk buying's really good if you can't, and if you can kind of you can get places that will order huge quantities for you, and then we found that really helpful. There was different things like, what's the one thing that you've changed in your daily habits that has changed your life the most? I know mine. What's yours?
Stopped eating meat 12 years ago.
Okay.
That has changed a lot for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was vegetarian when I was like not quite child, teenager. So, and then you were like later on.
Yeah, I was studying to be an outdoor instructor, and I noticed a lot of lads were not eating meat, and I asked why, and they said because it takes longer to burn through meat, and so your body you need energy quicker as an outdoor instructor because you're climbing and walking and constantly going all day. So vegetables and fruit and nuts and beans and everything, your digestive system burns through them quicker, sends energy to your body quicker. So that was the main reason I did it. And then,
that's why you did it.
And then
Terry's also had a few different careers because you said you were in film and TV, so he's had a few different things.
Don't want to be bored in life. Do some excitement.
Yeah, he likes
Climb
variety.
A tree, paddle down a river, shoot a film.
How do you keep the budget down and everything like that? There was a lot of questions about kind of finances and money, and I think when like we live very simply, it does reduce the cost of living. Exponentially. We just don't.
Everything we eat is organic. We shop organically. We buy organic.
We try and buy as much local as we can.
A lot of our finances goes into.
Most of it goes into food. Yeah. Yeah. Actually, I'd love to know down below if that what would be your thing that you'd spend the most kind of money on. For us, it's definitely our diet.
Be a good video.
Yeah, but actually, you guys what would be that thing you spend the most?
Or what are your biggest costs?
Yeah.
In life.
Or definitely our biggest one is
my wife.
Is food. Again, he's messing. It's him.
No. It's camera equipment, actually.
Yeah. What else? Kind of. With because it rains so much in Ireland. Like people comment so much on how much it really rains here, and it really does rain an incredible amount. We've had this stint for the last few weeks of sun, but
it's been great.
It's been so nice, but it rains so much here and you just get used to it. And as the comedian Billy Connolly said, it's not the weather, it's your clothes you wear. So everyone in Ireland has raincoats.
Rain pants, rain boots.
Everything for the rain, wellies.
Well, I just came back from Kerry for the last 2 weeks.
Kerry's over in the west of Ireland.
No, it's down
Gorgeous place.
It's down south.
I kind of thought it was the west.
No, it's
though.
down south.
Southwest.
Oh, it's southwest. And it was like the Amalfi Coast in Italy.
It was beautiful.
It was absolutely stunning. 29, 2 days at 30 degrees.
Well, they always say when Ireland is sunny, it's absolutely beautiful.
Stunning.
It just, you rarely get that. So when a lot of you have commented that, when you visited Ireland, it rained so much.
That's why we've so many pubs. Because when it rained, you just go into the pub. And
there is a lot of pubs.
We were filming in a town in a little small village in Kerry, and this village was tiny. Like it was probably the size of, think of a small street where you live, and it had 9 pubs in that small street. 9 pubs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. Ireland has a lot of pubs.
9 pubs and it's 9 pubs and a shop.
They haven't been open for a while.
Pub owners.
But we have a lot of pubs. And a lot of people in Ireland drink, and we actually don't drink alcohol. So
unless it's 0-0.
So it's interesting. But yeah. A lot of questions on do you have kids? And no, we don't. We will, but just not yet.
Sooner rather than later.
So when did we decide to move to the country and why?
I was finishing studying, and you were in the city.
There was we were just drawn to living out in the countryside more. It was also cheaper. It's cheaper in Ireland to live out in the countryside, but it's also you've more likelihood of getting a garden.
In the country as well a bit because my family
and you liked it
lived in
as well.
Yeah.
So
I like the country. It's good. It's fresh air. It's birds whistling in the morning. It's
very peaceful in the countryside here anyway. And then I always liked the city before, but then I just grew sick of it. I didn't like it anymore. The pollution, the noise. So we were both kind of just happy to move, and then we just looked and we found a little bit further away from the city than we were anticipating, but
I wasn't
magical.
As happy living this far away, but
because of like work, but then it just
I got more work since we've moved to the country. I work more now living in the country than I did living in the city. Which is great. It's crazy to think of.
You seem to live a stress-free life. What stresses you out?
Well, I stress my wife out mainly.
Because he's such a messer.
Oh my God, don't say anything on the video.
So stress.
We laugh a lot.
We laugh a lot. He makes me laugh a lot.
I make myself laugh a lot.
He makes himself laugh a lot. And you don't laugh at me so much.
No, I think because we laugh and we just take each other as lightly as possible.
Yep, and that's a lot to do with choice theory as well.
Yeah.
Not to take oneself as seriously. That's something I always work on.
And don't make other people's shit so important.
I don't think you can say S-H-I-T.
Oh, can you not? Sorry, apologies. No. Yeah. Don't say the S word. Sausages.
In Ireland, as well as a lot of pubs, we also have a tendency to use curse words a lot in Ireland.
Nothing wrong with a good curse every now and again.
And we talk a lot in Ireland.
About nothing.
Yeah, everything and anything. Oh, and also Irish people talk a lot about the weather.
We love the weather. It's so important to us.
This is like a Q&A and just Irish people.
What are Irish people like?
We eat a lot of potatoes and we talk a lot about the weather.
Niamh eats a lot of potatoes.
I love potatoes.
I don't eat a lot of potatoes.
No. Potatoes are the best. I like this question was, do you ever have days where you just can't be bothered doing anything, and then how do you cope? I think the biggest thing is the choice theory. It's the caring habits, and if you're having those days where you just don't want to do anything, then that's okay. We all have those days. Yeah. So it's kind of not beating yourself up if you're having those days where you just don't want to do anything. But I don't put any pressure on myself to do anything or get anything done. So
I like to do things I enjoy on days when I don't want to do anything. Because then it doesn't make me feel like I didn't do anything on that day. And I don't have to beat yourself up.
Yeah, like cook a really nice meal that you really like. Or I sometimes like to bake and just make something nice. Or, kind of...
I research camera equipment.
And he researches, you do a lot. And that was it, because there's a lot of questions, like, what do you do when you feel kind of low? And I think that is those things then. You don't put any pressure on yourself.
Go outside, go for a walk in the fresh air in the country.
Yeah, in the countryside. But even that, not even putting any pressure on yourself to kind of do anything. And then when you kind of...
just lie on the ground.
When I take the pressure off myself, then I find that I kind of then just find myself going out for a walk or just choosing to bake. Because I think so much so, it's the pressure we put on ourselves.
She's a good baker.
I enjoy it.
Awesome banana bread. I'm sorry that you can't taste. Maybe someday you'll be able to taste through the internet.
That recipe for the banana bread is, I still use the same one. And I think it's great. But let's finish on just something then simple of favourite song. Never even thought of that.
I don't have a favourite song. Favourite band, The Beatles. I'm a big Beatles fan.
Yeah, well, he likes more, and then the rock.
Classic.
You like your Frank Sinatra. I'm a big classical music.
Yeah, I could go on forever.
Yeah, you could. I'm more into my classical music.
Yeah, and dark classical as well. Not even light classical.
I like the more heavy.
I like Strauss. I'm a Strauss fan.
Let me know in the comments what music you do like. I would like more Chopin, which is not heavy, Chopin's but more Rachmaninoff. Yeah. I love Rachmaninoff. So yes, I think the favorite song
What's your
is a good
favourite
one.
art piece?
What do you mean?
What piece of painting do you like in art? Classic.
Oh, I don't know. I've never thought of that. I like the I like
you asked that.
I like the Impressionists. They're beautiful.
The Impressionists.
Yeah, and they've got some beautiful Impressionist paintings in the gallery in Ireland here.
I like the English gentleman. What's his name? That painted everything. He used to paint the ships and stuff. We watched the movie.
Turner.
Yeah, his paintings.
Watercolors.
Yeah.
Yeah, you love
Canvas.
those. We digress.
I'm not allowed in art galleries anymore. I try to touch everything because I'm kinesthetic. So I'm trying to.
Yeah, he does.
So they tackle me to the ground by security. Sir, you can't do that.
I think that's most of the questions, and I think we kind of verged off a lot of them, and we did the Irish thing where we talked a lot
About nothing.
Off subject. So I really hope you enjoyed it. If there's any other questions, ask them in the comments below. It was just wanted to do a nice kind of informal chit chat.
And thank you for everyone that watches our videos.
Yeah, so much so. Gosh.
It's a pleasure.
It really is, and it's really lovely connecting with you all. So I'd love to connect down below a little bit more about yourselves.
I don't connect. I'm not allowed to reply to anyone. I just sit in a box.
So that's it. Thanks for watching. And we'll see you in the next video, or I'll see you in the next video.
Yeah.
And he'll be behind the camera. So thanks, Emil.
Have a lovely summer. Bye.